Hi everyone, I'm Emma. Welcome to TechSprintLab. If you want to learn programming and the latest technology in a super simple and practical way, you're in the right place. Now, let's get started.
Every time you open a profile page on a web app, there is a hidden conversation happening. But how exactly does a web server living hundreds of miles away successfully transmit all of your personal data directly to your laptop screen? The problem is that these machines do not speak the same native language. A backend server runs Python or Java, while your browser speaks JavaScript. If the server sends a raw Python dictionary, the browser cannot interpret it. The code bounces off. Processing language-specific data in the wrong environment causes total failure, crashing the page. To bridge this gap, developers needed a format that could exist independently of any specific programming language. It had to be purely text-based and extremely lightweight. That solution is JSON. It provides a highly structured text format that both the backend server and your front-end browser can parse and understand without any special configuration. Successful data interchange on the web relies on a common syntax. JSON provides that structure, allowing disparate systems to communicate across the globe without failure. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, but despite the name, it is not limited to JavaScript. At its core, it is simply plain text. To create a JSON object, you establish its boundaries by opening and closing a set of curly braces. Inside those braces, JSON organizes data into key value pairs. Every piece of information requires a label, the key, and a corresponding value. This diagram illustrates the allowed syntax paths: string, number, object, array, boolean, or null. To construct a realistic profile, we use a string for the name, a number for age, and an array in square brackets for a list of subjects. What we have just built is the digital representation for a student profile. His real-world attributes are now perfectly mapped to the text. By adhering to these simple syntax rules, developers can model complex entities, from a single user profile to an entire global weather system, using nothing but text. But how does a developer convert complex native server code into this text format for transmission? They use a built-in command called JSON.stringify. This function takes a structured object and compresses it into a flat, unbroken string of text. Once flattened into a single line, this lightweight string travels rapidly across the internet's infrastructure, consuming minimal bandwidth along the way. When that string hits the user's browser, the application uses JSON.parse. This instantly unpacks the flat text, rebuilding it back into a native object that the front end can interact with. Before JSON, developers relied on the older XML standard. But XML requires opening and closing tags for every single piece of data, making the code harder for humans to read and significantly heavier for a server to transmit. JSON became the default format for the web because it successfully minimizes bandwidth while maintaining clear human readability. Because of its speed and compact size, JSON is now the mandatory standard for transmitting data across modern REST and GraphQL APIs. JSON also provides the structural foundation for modern web security. When you log into a secure website, the server verifies your identity using JSON Web Tokens, or JWTs. These signed JSON pieces securely encode your credentials. The server inspects this block to validate future requests, keeping you authorized across private pages without re-entering passwords. Whether you are building mobile applications, engineering backend databases, or configuring cloud infrastructure, you will encounter this format constantly. To truly understand how modern systems communicate, open up a text editor and practice writing your own JSON objects today with TechSprintLab. Mastering this notation is the crucial first step required to connect any localized application to the broader internet.